The American dream, once a beacon of hope, a promise of boundless opportunity and inherent dignity for all, now feels less like a tangible reality and more like a faded bedtime story, a comforting myth for a nation running on empty, struggling to stay awake. For millions of Americans, the aspiration of upward mobility, of getting ahead through hard work and determination, is no longer the primary concern. The focus has shifted to the immediate, the essential, just surviving, making it through another day. The once cherished dream has been replaced by the relentless daily grind of mounting bills, crippling debt, and pervasive uncertainty about the future. Look around. Take a good look at what's happening in our communities. Shuttered stores, businesses that were once the heart of our towns, now silent and empty, crumbling roads, infrastructure neglected and decaying, a physical manifestation of our broken promises, and the exhausted, weary faces of our fellow citizens tell the real, unfiltered story of struggle and resilience. We're constantly told that we're the richest nation in the history of the world, a land of unparalleled prosperity, but for a significant portion of our population, that immense wealth remains tantalizingly out of reach, an illusion seen through a shop window. The gap between the promise of the American dream and the harsh reality experienced by so many has become a chasm, a gaping divide that seems to widen every day, relentlessly swallowing hard-working, dedicated people who are simply trying to make an honest living. This isn't some abstract economic theory or a work of fiction. It's the stark, undeniable lived experience of countless parents forced to make impossible choices between essential medicine and putting food on the table for their children, of forgotten veterans who bravely served our nation now sleeping rough under bridges, abandoned and overlooked, and of hard-working families slipping further and further behind, despite diligently doing everything they were told was the path to success. The true essence of the American dream was always about dignity, security, and a sense of belonging, not simply the accumulation of vast wealth. That fundamental promise, that bedrock of our society, is now undeniably broken. And the real tragedy of this situation, this growing crisis, this erosion of the American dream, is not some unavoidable accident. It's the direct result of deliberate choices made in the halls of power in Washington. While our very foundation, the infrastructure and social safety nets that support our nation, visibly cracks and crumbles, our elected leaders continue to funnel precious resources elsewhere, writing blank checks to foreign nations while neglecting the needs of their own citizens. It's a profound betrayal of the basic, fundamental contract between government and the people it is supposed to serve and protect. It's time to stand up and ask a critical question. What is the true long-term cost of these choices, and who ultimately bears the burden? Let's get specific. Tens of millions of Americans live below the poverty line, struggling for basic necessities. Hungry children, elderly forced to choose between heat and medicine. This is not a healthy society. Homelessness is a national shame, with families and veterans living in tents while empty homes sit unused. Healthcare? For many, getting sick means financial ruin. Millions are uninsured or underinsured, rationing medicine or skipping care. Retirement security has vanished, leaving seniors facing poverty after a lifetime of work. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Potholes, failing bridges, poisoned water. Public transit is unreliable, cities are decaying, and lives are lost to neglect. These aren't acts of nature. They're the result of political choices. Every crisis, poverty, homelessness, lack of health care, decaying cities, stems from misplaced priorities. The numbers don't lie. America is failing its own people. And it's all by design. So, the question looms large. Where exactly does all this money go? We hear so much about budget constraints and the need for fiscal responsibility, while Americans are constantly told there's simply no money available for crucial healthcare initiatives or to properly fund our public schools, leaving classrooms overcrowded and resources scarce. One particular budget line, seemingly immune to all cuts and scrutiny, never runs dry, and that's aid to Israel. This isn't just a small gesture of goodwill or a token contribution. It's the largest, most sustained, and arguably most controversial foreign aid package in modern history, a commitment stretching back decades. Since World War II, the U.S. has given Israel an astounding sum, totaling over $317 billion, more than the entire gross domestic product, or GDP, of many countries around the globe. It's a staggering amount of wealth. This isn't a loan that needs to be repaid, nor is it an investment with the expectation of future returns. It's a gift, freely given year after year with remarkably few strings attached, raising questions about accountability and oversight. Today, over 86% of U.S. aid to Israel is specifically earmarked for military purposes. Advanced fighter jets, powerful bombs, sophisticated missiles, and much more in the way of military hardware. In essence, American taxpayers are directly funding a foreign army, bolstering its military capabilities. All while our own communities here at home continue to go without essential resources and support. This commitment is firmly locked in place. A comprehensive 10-year deal guarantees a staggering $38 billion in military aid to Israel, ensuring a steady stream of funding. That translates to $3.8 billion flowing to Israel every single year, a substantial sum by any measure. And no matter who occupies the White House or controls Congress, these payments continue without interruption. Automatic, unquestioned, and seemingly impervious to political shifts or changing priorities. The money flows steadily, even as countless American families struggle to make ends meet, facing economic hardship and uncertainty. It's a non-negotiable transfer of wealth, directly from the pockets of hardworking U.S. workers to the coffers of a foreign government. The contrast between these two realities couldn't be any clearer or more stark. Our own critical needs are consistently ignored and underfunded, but this particular foreign aid package remains virtually untouchable, a guaranteed payment regardless of the circumstances. Here's the stark reality. Americans are told to tighten their belts while aid to Israel flows freely. $3.8 billion a year could provide health care for 400,000 adults, pay 60,000 teachers, end homelessness for hundreds of thousands, or replace lead pipes in cities like Flint. Instead, it buys weapons for a foreign military. The total aid since WE2, $317 billion, could have rebuilt our infrastructure, funded universal pre-K, wiped out student debt, or launched a green jobs revolution. The opportunity cost is a better America we never got. When it comes to domestic programs, politicians agonize over every penny, citing debt and fiscal responsibility. But for foreign military aid, the checkbook is always open. Programs for veterans, children, and workers are slashed as too expensive, while foreign aid sails through. It's a double standard that exposes who our leaders really serve. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. Our priorities are upside down. The money is there. It's just not for us, and that's by choice. If $3.8 billion a year sounds outrageous, recent events have taken things to a new level. Since October 2023, the U.S. has sent at least $17.9 billion in extra military aid to Israel, on top of the regular payments. This emergency cash includes billions for missile defense, weapons, and jet fuel. Unlike aid to Ukraine, much of this is secret. $17.9 billion is likely just the start. The speed is staggering. Emergency authorities bypass Congress, rushing weapons out the door. Oversight is ignored. Debate is silenced. Massive arms sales are approved even when Congress objects. Contractors like Boeing and Lockheed Martin profit while taxpayers foot the bill. Public money becomes private profit, all under the banner of aid. The cycle is endless, and the winners are always the same. The American people are left behind. In this arrangement, the winners are few and powerful. The losers are the American people. Defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon profit from every aid package, lobbying to keep the money flowing. For them, foreign aid is a guaranteed revenue stream, not geopolitics. Israel, meanwhile, gets a world-class military subsidized by U.S. taxpayers, allowing it to pursue its goals without the full financial burden. It's the best deal in international relations. And it's been going for decades. The losers, ordinary Americans. Every dollar for a foreign bomb is a dollar not spent on a child's education, a veteran's care, or a crumbling bridge. The cost is real. Students in debt, seniors skipping medicine, families without homes. Our tax dollars fund foreign conflicts while our own communities suffer. The price is paid here, every day. And it's devastating. America projects power abroad, but at home, we're in decline. Our military spending dwarfs the world, yet we can't provide basics for our own people. These aren't separate issues. Our imperial ambitions fuel our domestic decay. A nation's budget reveals its values. Ours shows broken priorities. Sending billions to foreign militaries while our infrastructure rots is a conscious choice. Congress debates foreign policy endlessly while crises at home, opioids, housing, healthcare, are ignored. Our leaders focus outward, neglecting the foundation of our own society. The result, slow erosion from within. A strong military means nothing if the society it protects is sick and divided. We're borrowing from our children's future to fund foreign wars. This path is unsustainable. History warns us, empires that neglect their people collapse. Are we truly free to choose our priorities? On Israel, public opinion doesn't matter. Aid continues, no questions asked. Both parties march in lockstep. Dissent is silenced with accusations and fear. Debate is off limits, and powerful lobbies like AIPAC ensure the status quo. When unelected groups dictate policy, democracy is hollowed out. Americans see their communities crumble while their tax dollars go overseas. Cynicism grows. Faith in government fades. A government unresponsive to its people loses legitimacy. We're told we're free, but a nation that can't set its own priorities isn't free at all. The illusion of choice is just that, an illusion. The current path is unsustainable. We're on a trajectory that simply cannot continue without dire consequences. A nation starving its own to fund foreign wars is headed for disaster. It's a recipe for internal collapse, a betrayal of the very people the government is meant to serve. The bill for decades of neglect is coming due, and it's a debt we can no longer ignore. Paid in lost futures, not just dollars. The true cost is the potential we're squandering, the dreams we're crushing. We're trading our children's health and security, sacrificing their well-being for short-sighted gains. For another country's military dominance, we're prioritizing global power over the needs of our own citizens. Over $317 billion sent, a staggering sum that could transform our nation. $3.8 billion more every year, a constant drain on our resources, and $17.9 billion rushed out in a single year. Where is the emergency here at home? These numbers represent a massive transfer of wealth away from Americans, a silent theft from the pockets of hardworking families. Imagine if that money rebuilt our cities, revitalizing communities and creating jobs. Funded world-class schools, providing every child with the opportunity to succeed, and provided healthcare for all, ensuring that no one is left behind. That future is possible, a future of prosperity and opportunity for all Americans. But only if we change course, only if we demand a new direction. The choice is urgent, the clock is ticking, and the future of our nation hangs in the balance. Continue down this path of decline, watching our nation crumble before our eyes, or demand our government put Americans first, prioritizing the needs of our own citizens above all else. This isn't isolationism. It's not about turning our backs on the world. It's sanity. It's about making rational decisions that benefit our own people. The American dream is on life support, fading away from millions of Americans, and only action can save it. Only by standing together can we reclaim our future. We must demand change. We must raise our voices and be heard. And ask our leaders, hold them accountable for their decisions. How can you justify billions for a foreign army when our own nation is in crisis? While Americans suffer, while our veterans are homeless and our families struggle to make ends meet, the future depends on our courage to demand better, to stand up for what we believe in. Silence is the only thing keeping this broken system alive. Our voices are the key to unlocking a better future.